Hey guys, it's Tape the Grape, and in this video, I'm going to be going over all the vehicles that most of the vehicles, if not all of the vehicles my parents had when I grew up. I'll obviously start from the earliest one I remember. I will not be going over the ones they had before I was born, but only the ones that they had when I was born. The colors and the years may not be 100% accurate, but they're pretty close, within a year or two accurateness, or whatever you're going to call it. But starting off, obviously when I was a baby, so I don't technically remember, but my parents technically had it when I was alive, or when I was first born. They had this along with another one you'll see after, but anyway, this is a 1978 Chevy Caprice two-door. It was blue, as you can see. My dad actually repainted it himself. It was like a dark blue. Couldn't find accurate photos. This is not the real one. It's just off of Google Images. Most of these are, except for the more recent ones. But he told me he had the one that had the rare curved rear windshield, so that was pretty neat. He only had this for like a year and a half, and then he got rid of it when I was like 1 to 2 years old. But anyway, sorry if you can hear a motorcycle in the background. But this is the one he had. As for the other one that he had, my mom had this one, that's the one she drove in like the early 2000s. This is a 96 Dodge Caravan. I believe they actually told me it was the Town and Country they had, but I already had this photo. It's pretty much the same thing. 96 Town and Country, Dodge Caravan, same thing. But they had this one for a couple of years, but they told me they had electrical problems, so they ended up getting the next one, which would have been 2001 Chevy Venture. This one was about a year to 2 years old at the time, so they were still obviously having to make payments on it and stuff. But I believe they told me they got screwed on it, like they were told one price but it was actually another, so they didn't end up paying it off and had to give it back. And then they ended up getting this one, a 99 Ford Windstar. It was still fairly new at its time. Now, out of those three minivans I showed you, I remember when I was younger, and I was sitting in the back of them, whichever one I don't remember, I was sticking my fingers out, as you can see on this van, the rear fold-out window or pop-out window. I stuck my fingers out, and my dad accidentally had an electric close on him, or it closed electronically, and my fingers got smashed in it, and it hurt really bad. But that's one thing I remember. It was one of those three vans, though. I don't know what happened to this one. Maybe they got rid of it also. But again, a couple of these we had at the same time as the others. I don't know exactly specifics on which one. But by this time, it was like 2005, 2006 when we had this one. Now, as for the next one, because I remember my dad got it in like 2006, 2007 would be this, a 92 Hyundai Excel. In fact, he had two of them. He had a one that actually ran pretty well that was an automatic, and he had one that ran really shitty that was a stick shift. He used to always have it parked in the backyard. And around this same time, he had, before I get to that, he actually got these two for free. He had an old guy he used to mow the lawn for, and because he couldn't, he just, for payment or whatever, he gave him these two cars, and my dad accepted it. But at that same time, he also had an 84 Chevy Custom Deluxe. I remember that thing. It had a stock 350 in it, had like a Holly 4-barrel carburetor on it. It wasn't tuned right, my dad said, because the guy who previously had it didn't do it right, and it ran like shit, but my dad drove it to scrap all the time. I remember riding in it all the time, and I remember it had a unique smell all the time. Or, I keep saying all the time, but you know what I mean. And he actually ended up giving this to my brother. My brother didn't get it running properly, so he ended up, I guess, sadly scrapping it to the scrapyard. It wasn't in as good a shape as this one, of course. It was rusty, northern Illinois, of course. But either way, I wish I could have had it. But I was still a kid at that point, about 7 to 8 years old. Now, also, we had accumulated this one, a 95 Chrysler Concorde. This was actually my uncle's car, because he worked for State Farm. He was a higher up in State Farm, the insurance company. This was one of the company cars, but he actually got to keep it, and my parents needed a car at the time for whatever reason. I guess the other ones went away or something, but this is the one he gave us. Again, the 95 Chrysler Concorde. This ended up being my sister Andrea's first car. I think she got rid of this because she traded it in for a newer car, her and her husband at the time. But that's what happened to that one. And then the one after my the one my parents had was a '96 Chevy Blazer. We only had this for a short period of time because I think it was super rusty at the time. And this was around like 2010, 2011, 2012 time. Like I said, we shortly had this one. And then after this, my mom had got this. She bought it from a family friend, a '95 Ford Expedition. Then obviously my dad no longer had the Concorde, so he bought a '95 Chevy C2500, the one that ended up being mine, my first vehicle, I should say. But the reason why we got rid of the Ford Expedition is because I think the 4x4 went out or got stuck in 4x4, something along those lines. Then after the Chevy, we had, dang it. But anyway, after the Chevy, we had the 2007 Chevy HHR. Dang it, that sucks. Ruined the screen. But anyway, that's what we've had for a long time now. My mom still has it. And then my dad had got a '89 Dodge Ram, as you can see. He still currently has this one as well. And he also got, she really needs my help or something. But anyway, 2008 Pontiac G6. He had got that less than a year ago, and he still currently has that as well. But anyway, these are all the vehicles that my parents had over the years since I was born and currently. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.